Sarah stood by the mirror, fixing her earrings when Noah's voice echoed in her mind. I want you to meet her tonight. Just try it. See how it feels. The words sounded simple, but they carried weight. She wasn't sure what he meant. Not exactly. All she knew was that he wanted her to meet Lily, his old friend from college. The woman he'd spoken about with quiet admiration for years. Noah was waiting downstairs, checking his phone, his tie slightly loose. The way it always was when he was nervous, but didn't want to admit it. You ready? He asked, smiling as she came down the stairs. She nodded, though her heart wasn't steady. He looked so calm, as if this night was just another social event. But to Sarah it felt different. There was something unspoken hanging between them. They had been married for 6 years. And while love still lived between them, something had changed recently. Their life had become predictable, safe, quiet. They didn't fight, but they didn't surprise each other anymore either. So, when Noah had mentioned Lily and how she was moving back to town, Sarah had felt a small sting of something she couldn't name, jealousy, maybe, or curiosity. And now, with his gentle suggestion that she'd get to know her, that sting had turned into a knot in her stomach. The car ride to the party was filled with soft music and silence. Sarah looked out the window as the city lights blurred past. She thought about Lily, the woman Noah used to mention casually. He'd told stories about her confidence, her humor, how she used to challenge him in college debates. Sarah had met her once at a mutual friend's dinner, and she had been everything Noah said: warm, magnetic, effortlessly charming. The kind of person who made you feel seen, even when she wasn't trying to. When they pulled up to the house, Sarah saw the soft glow of light spilling from the windows. Music and laughter floated through the night air. She smoothed her dress, took a slow breath, and tried to smile. But when she stepped out of the car, she saw Lily standing in the doorway, framed by golden light, holding a glass in one hand, smiling as if she had been waiting just for them. Sarah! Lily called out, her voice bright and familiar. She moved toward her with easy grace, her hair catching the light. You look beautiful. It's so good to see you again. Sarah felt her heart skip, though she didn't know why. She returned the smile. You too, Lily. It's been a while. Noah joined them, greeting Lily with the warmth of an old friend. The three of them walked into the house together, where the party buzzed with life. The living room was filled with people talking, laughing, holding glasses of wine. There was music in the background, low and smooth. It was the kind of night that felt ordinary from the outside, but had something electric in the air. Lily moved through the crowd easily, greeting people, introducing Sarah to everyone. She was radiant, confident, and full of stories. Sarah noticed the way people gravitated toward her. It wasn't just beauty, it was presence. Lily made everything feel lighter, easier. Sarah couldn't help but admire that as the evening went on. Noah drifted into a conversation with a few friends, leaving Sarah and Lily by the kitchen counter. The light there was softer, quieter, and the music had dimmed. Lily poured Sarah a drink, her movements calm and deliberate. So, Lily said, leaning against the counter, Noah tells me you've been busy with your work lately. He says, you're amazing at what you do. Sarah smiled, feeling a small flutter at the mention. I try, it's been hectic, but I like it. Lily nodded. He talks about you a lot, always with this look like he's proud, but also like he's afraid he doesn't deserve you. That made Sarah pause. She looked down at her glass. He says that more than once, Lily said, her tone gentle. You two seem strong. Sarah nodded again, but the word strong caught in her chest. They were stable, yes, but was that the same as strong? There had been nights recently where they'd sat in silence, scrolling on their phones instead of talking. It wasn't unhappiness. It was something quieter, like distance wrapped in routine. Lily must have sensed her thoughts. She said softly, sometimes people forget that love needs movement. Not just comfort, but motion. It's like dancing. You have to keep finding new rhythms together. Sarah looked up at her, a little startled by how precisely she'd put it. That's a nice way to say it, she murmured. Lily smiled. I mean it. Noah told me he wanted tonight to be special for you both. He said he wanted to try something different. I think he just wants to remind you how alive love can feel. Sarah's pulse quickened. Did he say that? Lily nodded, her eyes soft but steady. He did. He cares about you, Sarah. Deeply. There was a pause. Sarah's heart was beating fast now, though nothing in Lily's voice suggested anything strange or inappropriate. Still, there was an intensity in her gaze that made Sarah feel suddenly aware of every breath, every sound around them. Then Lily's tone lightened again. Come on, she said, smiling as she took Sarah's hand gently. There's something you need to see. She led her through the glass doors to the backyard patio. The night air was cool and string lights glowed overhead, swaying softly in the breeze. It was quieter there, away from the laughter inside. The two of them stood by the railing, looking at the small garden below. Lily leaned on the rail, her shoulders relaxed. I miss this city, she said. I miss nights like this. People, music, something unpredictable in the air. Sarah nodded, glancing back at the glowing windows where Noah stood talking with a friend. He looked at ease, but every so often she caught him looking toward her and Lily, watching quietly, not possessively, just watching. Lily followed her gaze. He trusts you, she said softly. That's rare. Sarah felt her throat tighten slightly. He does, she said. Sometimes I think more than I trust myself. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The world seemed to slow, even though the night carried on inside. There was no tension, just a strange mix of calm and curiosity, as if something invisible was unfolding between them that neither had planned. Then Lily turned, her expression unreadable, but kind. Sarah, she said, her voice low, you don't have to be afraid to feel something new. It doesn't mean you're losing what you have. It might just mean you're growing. Sarah looked at her, unsure how to respond. Her mind felt like it was spinning quietly, her heart racing without reason. The moment was brief, but it stayed like a spark that didn't fade. Even when the night carried them back into the warmth and laughter of the house, as she walked beside Lily again, she couldn't shake one thought that whispered deep inside her. This night wasn't ordinary. And when it ended, nothing about her life would feel quite the same. And through the crowd, Noah's calm, knowing eyes followed her just before Lily reached for her hand again. The music inside the house had shifted to something slower, smoother. As the night moved on, people talked in soft voices, laughter mixed with the clinking of glasses, and the air smelled of candles and perfume. Sarah followed Lily through the crowd, feeling both nervous and strangely drawn in. Lily moved with confidence, greeting friends with a smile that made everyone feel included. Sarah admired that kind of ease. How Lily seemed so alive, so comfortable wherever she went. Noah had joined a small group near the fireplace. He looked relaxed, holding a drink and listening intently. But every now and then Sarah felt his eyes on her, not in a controlling way, but almost like he was silently reassuring her that she was safe, that this night was something meant to open, not close, a part of them. Lily led Sarah to a quiet corner near the patio doors. The lights there were dimmer, warm gold spilling over the glass, and the sound of the party felt distant. You okay? Lily asked, watching her carefully. Sarah smiled, though her hands felt slightly tense around her glass. I'm fine, just taking it all in. Lily nodded knowingly. It's a lot, isn't it? People, noise, all the energy in one place. Sometimes it's easier to just find one person and have a real conversation. That made Sarah laugh softly. Exactly. Lily tilted her head. Then let's do that. They found 2 chairs near the window, half hidden behind a tall plant. The kind of spot people pass by but rarely noticed. Lily sat across from her, crossing her legs with quiet confidence. She studied Sarah not in a judging way, but with curiosity, like she wanted to understand her. So tell me something, Lily said. When was the last time you did something just because it scared you a little? Sarah blinked. Scared me? Yeah, Lily said, smiling faintly. Something that made your heart race. Not from fear, but from being alive, as Sarah thought for a moment. It's been a while, she admitted. Life just got busy. Work, schedules, routines. I don't really take risks anymore. Lily's expression softened. You should. You have that kind of energy. The kind that's calm on the outside, but deep down it's waiting for something to wake it up. Sarah looked away, unsure what to say. Lily's words hit closer than expected. She had felt that emptiness for months now. That quiet ache she couldn't name. Noah was good to her, kind and loyal, but their life had become predictable, safe, sometimes too safe. Lily leaned forward slightly. You know, Noah told me once that you used to paint. He said your work was full of color, emotion, stories. Why'd you stop? Sarah's eyes widened a little. He told you that. He did, Lily said gently. He said you used to spend hours painting until you forgot the time. Sarah smiled faintly. I did, but after we got married, I got caught up in everything else. Work, bills, life. Lily nodded. That happens to everyone, but maybe tonight is about remembering that version of you, the one who used to create, dream, and take chances. Sarah studied her for a moment. You sound like you know exactly what everyone needs to hear. Lily laughed softly. Maybe I just listened better than most. For a few moments, they sat in silence, watching people move through the crowd. The light from the chandeliers shimmered across Lily's hair, and something about the way she sat, grounded, sure of herself, made Sarah feel both curious and comfortable. Then Lily stood. Come with me, she said. They walked toward the back patio where soft music played under the fairy lights. The air was cooler, fresher, and the noise of the house faded behind them. Lily leaned against the railing, the glow of the lights catching her face. This is my favorite part of parties, she said, when you can finally hear yourself think. Sarah smiled. Yeah, it's peaceful. Lily turned to her. You and Noah have been together a long time? 6 years? Sarah said. That's rare, Lily replied. You can see it in how he looks at you. There's trust there. Sarah followed her gaze back into the house where Noah was still talking with friends. But she could feel him glance their way. We've been through a lot together, she said quietly. Do you still surprise each other? Lily asked, her tone light but curious. The question made Sarah pause. I don't know, she said. Maybe not as much as we used to. Lily nodded, her voice gentle. That's what happens when people get too comfortable. But sometimes all it takes is one night to change that. Sarah felt her pulse quicken. One night, Lily smiled. One moment, one decision. You'd be surprised what you learn about yourself when you stop trying to predict everything. Sarah didn't know why, but her heart started beating faster. She wasn't afraid, but she felt something unfamiliar. Awareness, maybe the kind that made you see things you hadn't noticed before. The light, the music, the way Lily's voice seemed to soften the air. Can I be honest with you? Lily asked suddenly. Of course. Lily looked at her with an open expression. Before tonight, I wasn't sure if I should even come. I didn't want to make things awkward, but Noah told me you were different, that you understood people, that you could connect in a way most can't. Sarah's breath caught slightly. He said that. Lily nodded. He said you had this quiet strength, and that maybe you and I would understand each other. The words lingered in the air. Sarah didn't know what to say. She wasn't sure what Noah meant by understand each other. But something about it made her chest tighten. They both turned toward the garden again, where the shadows moved gently under the lights. The music inside shifted to a slower tune. Something soulful, something that made the night feel heavier in meaning. Sarah broke the silence first. It's strange. I feel like I've known you longer than I actually have. Lily smiled softly. Sometimes connections don't need time, they just happen. For a long moment, they stood quietly, the world around them fading. It wasn't romantic in an obvious way. It was something deeper, an understanding that felt almost magnetic. Sarah wasn't sure if it was admiration, curiosity, or something she couldn't name yet. Through the glass, she saw Noah glance toward them again. He smiled, not a nervous smile, but one that felt almost knowing. Sarah didn't fully understand it, but she didn't feel alarmed. Instead, she felt like this was all part of something he trusted her enough to experience. Lily turned back to her, voice softer now. You ever feel like life gives you small windows? Moments where you can either step forward or stay safe? Sarah nodded slowly. I think this might be one of those moments. Lily's eyes met hers. Then maybe you should see where it leads. The wind shifted slightly, carrying the sound of laughter from inside. The moment didn't break, but it softened. Sarah's mind felt full of noise and quiet all at once. She wasn't sure where this was heading, but she knew one thing. She was no longer just a guest at a party. Something had started to change inside her. Lily smiled, stepping back slightly. Come on, let's go back inside before people think we've run away. Sarah nodded, following her back toward the glowing lights and soft music. But as they walked through the doorway, she caught Noah's eyes again. There was no confusion in his face, no jealousy, only calm, quiet awareness. And for the first time that night, Sarah realized that maybe this was what Noah meant when he said, just try it, see how it feels. The night had slowed into that soft hour when conversations faded and music turned mellow. Most guests were gathered near the living room now, their laughter quieter, their energy lower. The party was still alive, but it had settled into its late rhythm, comfortable, warm, reflective. Outside, the air had grown cooler. The fairy lights swayed lightly, and the soft hum of the city filled the silence between songs. Sarah stood on the patio again, her hands wrapped around a half-empty glass. She wasn't sure how long she had been standing there, only that the world around her felt different, like something had quietly shifted without her noticing. She heard the sound of footsteps behind her, light and familiar. Lily stepped outside, closing the door softly behind her. There you are, Lily said, smiling gently. I was wondering where you disappeared to. Sarah returned the smile, though her voice came out quiet. Just needed a little air. Lily nodded, standing beside her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The lights from the house reflected faintly in Lily's eyes, and the soft wind brushed her hair against her cheek. There was something peaceful in her presence, yet it stirred something restless inside Sarah. You know, Lily said after a pause, you and Noah have something rare. You can feel the trust between you two. It's not loud, but it's there. Sarah looked down. We've been through a lot. We've learned to hold on to each other even when things get quiet. Lily's tone softened. Quiet can be good, but sometimes quiet turns into silence. Sarah's breath caught slightly. The truth of it landed deep. She didn't respond right away because she couldn't deny it. Lately, their home had felt like that. Calm on the outside, but with spaces between words that felt longer than before. Lily turned toward her fully, her voice gentler now. Can I tell you something? Something I probably should have said a long time ago. Sarah looked up, her chest tightening. What is it? Lily took a slow breath, her eyes steady, but filled with something fragile. I've known Noah for a long time, since college. We've always been close, but not in the way people think. He's been a friend, a good one. And over the years, he's talked about you more than you know. The way he loves you, the way he sees you. It made me feel something I didn't expect. Sarah frowned slightly, not from anger, but confusion. Feel what? Lily hesitated, searching for the right words. I think I started to care about you before I even met you. And when I did, it only grew stronger. It's not something I planned or wanted to happen, but it's real. The words hung in the air. Sarah felt the wind move past her skin, yet she couldn't move. She tried to speak, but her voice came out as barely a whisper. You mean you? Lily nodded slowly. Yes, I've had feelings for you, Sarah, and I think Noah knew. The world seemed to still. The sounds from inside the house blurred into distant noise. Sarah stared at her, eyes wide, her mind trying to catch up. He knew. He did, Lily said softly. He wasn't angry or jealous. He just looked at me one day and said, maybe she should know one day. Maybe she'll understand. I didn't know what he meant then. But when he invited me tonight, I realized he wanted this to happen. Not in a dramatic way, but as an honest one. Sarah's heart pounded. I don't understand. Why would he want that? Lily smiled sadly. Because he loves you enough to let you feel everything life has to offer, even if it's unexpected. Sarah's thoughts spun. It wasn't betrayal she felt. It was confusion. Maybe even fear. Noah had always been open-minded, patient. But this felt like something she hadn't been prepared for. She turned her gaze toward the glass door, where Noah still stood inside, watching quietly. Their eyes met through the reflection. He didn't move, didn't interrupt, just watched with a calm expression that told her he already knew this moment was unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Lily stepped closer, her voice steady. I'm not here to take anything from you. I just needed to tell you the truth, because pretending not to feel it has been harder than admitting it. Sarah's throat tightened. Lily, I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Lily said gently. I just needed to be honest. Noah wanted honesty too. He said you deserved it. Sarah looked away, her heart caught between two emotions, loyalty and curiosity. There was something deeply human in the way Lily spoke. It wasn't romantic in the way movies showed it. It was raw, emotional, layered with sincerity. Lily's hand brushed hers lightly, a small gesture that felt like both a question and a comfort. Sarah didn't pull away, though her mind raced. She wasn't sure what this meant or what she wanted to happen next. All she knew was that something in her heart had woken up, a part that hadn't felt seen in a long time. The touch didn't linger, but it was enough. Sarah could feel her pulse in her fingertips, her breath shallow. There was no pressure, no expectations, just the quiet space between two people who understood that honesty sometimes changes everything. Through the glass, Noah's expression didn't waver. He gave a small nod, barely noticeable, but it carried meaning. It said, "It's okay, I trust you." Sarah turned back to Lily. Her voice was low, almost trembling. This is a lot to take in. I know, Lily said softly. Take your time. You don't owe anyone a reaction. I just didn't want to keep something real hidden anymore. The sky above them was clouded, faint stars peeking through. The soft buzz of music mixed with the sound of leaves rustling in the wind. The world felt both vast and small. Sarah finally spoke, her voice quiet but sure. You're brave to say it. Lily smiled faintly. It's not bravery, it's just truth. And I think you deserve truth, even if it's messy. Sarah took a deep breath, trying to steady her thoughts. The warmth from inside the house spilled out in golden light, washing over them both. It felt like standing on the edge of something she couldn't name, an ending, a beginning. Or maybe both. I don't know what to do with this, she admitted. You don't have to do anything tonight, Lily replied softly. Just feel it. That's enough. They stood there in silence. It wasn't awkward. It was charged with emotion, but calm in its honesty. Sarah knew something in her life had changed, even if nothing physical had. It was like a new door had opened inside her, one she hadn't realized was there. Behind them, the glass door slid open quietly. Noah stepped outside, his face gentle, his movements unhurried. He looked from Lily to Sarah, then back again. You told her, he asked Lily quietly. Lily nodded. I did. Noah's eyes moved to Sarah. Are you okay? Sarah nodded, though her voice caught. I think so. I just didn't expect this. Noah stepped closer, taking her hand with quiet tenderness. I didn't want to keep it from you. I wanted you to see how much love can expand when there's trust. I trust you, Sarah. Always. The sincerity in his words melted something inside her. There was no confusion in his tone, no hesitation, only love, steady and deep. Sarah looked between them, her husband, and the woman who had just confessed something she couldn't ignore. She didn't have answers, but she felt clarity in one thing. Her life was no longer simple. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be. The night had settled into a quiet hum. Inside the house, most guests had moved to the living room or kitchen, chatting softly, laughter dimmed to whispers. Outside, the patio was calm under the soft glow of string lights, the air cool and refreshing. Sarah stood between Lily and Noah, her heart still pounding from the confessions of the night. The moments that had passed felt heavier than any conversation she had ever had, full of emotion, honesty, and something undefinable that made her chest ache. Noah took a slow step toward her, his hand brushing lightly against hers. "I know this is a lot," he said quietly. "I didn't want to rush you or push anything. I trust you. I want you to feel everything you need to feel tonight." Sarah nodded, swallowing hard. She had trusted Noah for years, but tonight that trust had taken on a new dimension. It wasn't about control or expectation. It was about freedom, about being allowed to explore parts of herself she hadn't touched in years. Lily stood beside her, close enough that Sarah could feel the warmth from her presence. There was no pressure in her expression, only a quiet understanding, a calmness that made the world seem slower. Lily's eyes were gentle but full of emotion. "You don't have to make a choice now," she said softly. "I just wanted honesty, and that's what you have. Whatever you decide, it's okay." Sarah took a deep breath. Her chest felt tight, yet there was clarity in that tension. She had spent years trying to anticipate the next step, to make the right choice, to live a life of careful decisions. But tonight, everything had changed. She realized that love wasn't just about predictability or comfort. It was about connection, honesty, and courage. Noah reached out and took her hand fully, holding it between both of his. "I love you, Sarah. That doesn't change. I've never wanted anyone to feel trapped or limited. I just want you to be yourself completely." Sarah's throat tightened. She looked from Noah to Lily, then back to Noah. She could see the trust in his eyes, the gentle encouragement. Then she looked at Lily, whose presence had been honest, kind, and magnetic. She realized she had been holding herself back for fear of judgment, a fear of upsetting the balance she thought she needed. But tonight proved that love didn't have to be simple to be real. It could expand and still remain true. Lily reached out again, this time letting her fingers brush Sarah's slightly, like a tentative question. "It's okay to feel curiosity, Sarah. You're allowed to feel more than one kind of connection." Sarah's breath caught. She felt something inside her shift. She wasn't confused about love. She loved Noah deeply. But she also recognized the beauty of connection she felt with Lily, something emotional, tender, alive. And for the first time in a long time, she realized she didn't have to choose between feeling and safety. She could acknowledge her feelings without fear. The wind rustled gently through the trees, carrying faint laughter from inside. The night had a stillness to it, a pause that allowed thoughts and emotions to breathe. Sarah took another deep breath and let herself feel the weight of the evening, the truths that had been shared and the quiet power of honesty. Noah squeezed her hand. "Whatever you feel tonight, I want you to know it's okay. I trust you completely." Sarah nodded. She realized glistening. She realized this trust was rare, something that went beyond conventional understanding. It wasn't just about their marriage. It was about respect, freedom, and the courage to face emotions honestly. That was the gift Noah had given her, and she felt it deeply. Lily's voice broke the silence softly. "I don't expect anything. I just wanted the truth to be out in the open. You don't have to decide now. Just feel." Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, letting the words sink in. Feel, not react, not solve, not choose. Immediately, just feel. And for the first time in months, maybe years, she allowed herself to do exactly that. She felt warmth, trust, curiosity, and even a quiet thrill of possibility. She realized she had been craving honesty more than anything else. And tonight she had it in full. When she opened her eyes, she saw Noah watching her with quiet love, Lily watching her with gentle understanding. Sarah felt a swell of emotion she hadn't felt in a long time. Connection in 3 dimensions, all real and unforced. She didn't have answers yet, but she had clarity. She was alive, aware, and free to explore what this night had unlocked. Noah stepped slightly closer. "You don't have to say anything yet. Just know that I'm here, always." Sarah felt her chest tighten with gratitude. She had always known Noah loved her, but now she understood a deeper layer of that love, the courage to let her feel, to trust her entirely. And for that, she wanted to hold on tighter, to honor what they shared. Lily's hand remained close, not demanding, not pushing. It was a reminder of honesty, of connection, and of possibility. Sarah felt a flutter in her chest, a sense that life was bigger than rules or fear. She could hold love in multiple ways, and that realization was liberating. "Tonight has been," Sarah began, her voice low, unexpected, but I think I needed it. Needed this clarity, this honesty. Lily smiled softly. "That's all I wanted. That's all any of us ever really want, to be seen and understood." Sarah looked at Noah, then back at Lily. I don't know exactly what the future holds, she said quietly. But I know I want to explore what we have tonight, has opened up. Noah's eyes softened. We'll take it one step at a time, together. No pressure, no rules, just honesty. Sarah felt tears prick her eyes, the relief of trust, the weight of honesty, the quiet power of connection, all combined into something she couldn't name, but she recognized immediately. She felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. Lily stepped slightly back, giving space, her smile gentle. I'll be here whenever you need honesty or understanding. No rush, no expectations. Sarah nodded. Thank you, both of you, for trust, for honesty, for tonight. The night air seemed to shift softer now, carrying a sense of possibility. Sarah looked around at the lights, the shadows, and the quiet faces inside. The world felt larger, brighter, and more open than it had in years. She knew that by allowing herself to feel fully, she had changed something deep inside her. Noah held her hand lightly, giving her a small squeeze. Whatever happens, I love you, he said. Sarah smiled, her heart full. I love you, too. And as she turned to look at Lily, she realized that some connections couldn't be explained or measured. They simply existed, quietly and truthfully. And for the first time in a long time, Sarah felt that love, real, honest, and alive, was not a limit but an expansion. Tonight hadn't given her all the answers, but it had given her something more valuable: freedom, clarity, and the courage to feel deeply. And with Noah and Lily both present, she knew she could navigate the next step with honesty, trust, and an open heart. The fairy lights above flickered softly, casting shadows across the patio. The night carried on, gentle and unhurried, leaving Sarah with a sense of hope she hadn't realized she'd been missing. For the first time, she didn't feel torn or anxious. She felt ready. She inhaled the cool night air, letting it fill her lungs, letting the weight of fear and doubt lift. She was alive, aware, and open to the possibilities of what love could be. And for now, that was enough.